Welcome, everybody. Thank you for jumping on for some training. So, how many of you would like to do more team building? Anybody? Okay, how would you like to never feel like you're chasing people? So, I'm going to give you some pointers. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up. So, I'm going to give you some pointers of things that you can do. Now, what happened is since mid-December, I went to two other direct selling company parties that my girlfriends were throwing. One was for clothing, one was for jewelry, and one was like a food supplement thing. And I wasn't interested in any of their products, although I bought jewelry, which is the one thing I don't need. But anyway, but I watched how they closed. I watched how they shared the opportunity, if they shared the opportunity. And one gal in particular, at the very, very beginning, said, it was kind of like an invitation, hey, I'm always looking for team members, and here's what some of the perks of being a consultant in my company. And she rattled off a few things, very making it sound like it was part of the program, like everybody gets to hear this. It was expected. Does that make sense? And I thought, that's really brilliant because she's planting a seed. And even though I'm absolutely not interested, guess what everyone's going to do? They're going to watch her, they're going to think about it, and they're going to go, hmm. So I'm going to share a little bit with you today on some things that I think um, could really help you in that particular area. Now, if you are not interested in team building, then you probably don't want to watch this recording. So you can just go to the next recording. But if you're thinking, I think it'd be really fun. What I'm going to share with you is that this business is bigger than just you. Our mission as a unit, my passion as a leader is more than just helping you sell a cleanser or helping you sell a skincare set. Okay. So I have two roles. One of my roles is to make sure that my customers literally have the best experience. But also as a coach, I want to be there so that every consultant in my unit feels like she's being supported and has an opportunity to have a successful business, whatever. And I know that's very subjective, but whatever that looks like for her, if that makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about this. So would you agree before you meet the woman that you're about to facial, right? It might be a friend, it might be an acquaintance. So you got to look at all these different levels of trust, levels of knowledge. If it's an acquaintance, you probably don't know her very well. If it's a girlfriend, that's different. If you meet her at a mixer and maybe you get her business card, maybe you had a 5-minute interaction with her at a restaurant. So most of the time, I would say you're not going to always know a lot about these people. So what if you could start a new thing? It's the new year, right? What if you started sending like a Google document? And trust me, don't stress out when you hear that. Google documents are not hard. I learned them in 45 minutes, honestly, with a glass of wine one night during COVID. So if I can learn it in 20 to 30 minutes, trust me, you can. So what if you sent a Google Doc that was kind of open and friendly and asked them just some, and I'll give you a sample of one, some really brief suggestions about, asking questions about their skin and that kind of thing. And in that survey is a little question that says, I'd love for you to, how would you like a pair, this lady happened to offer a free pair of earrings. I'd love to offer you a free pair of earrings. And it wasn't the jewelry lady that was offering the earrings. Okay. It was the nutritional supplement lady. She says, but I'd love to offer you a pair of free earrings if you'll just watch this video and check the box on what you think or whatever. And so people are like, I'll take a pair of free earrings. So they watch the video about their company or whatever. And it made it so that it didn't seem like she was trying to recruit me. It was more like, do you know about this? Do you know about this? Oh, by the way, check us out. Do you know about this? Can't wait to see you. Does that sort of make sense? So let's back up and let's talk about, and Emily Schutte, I'm borrowing some of her video tonight. She's a phenomenal trainer in Mary Kay. We had the privilege of seeing her on stage at Leadership Conference. She's got a great spin on things. She explains things and gets excited and does a great job. So one of the things you want to think about is what are the qualities? So jot this down. What are the qualities and traits of someone you want on your team? And be really, really specific because your brain works on whatever you tell it. Okay. So if you're wanting big thinking women, if you're wanting women that feel empowered, if you're looking for women who have a positive attitude, if you're looking for women who are financially solvent or financially stable, if you're looking for women who have an excitement about life, I find what happens sometimes if they're friendly to us, they're like, "Oh, she likes me, I should recruit her." Or, oh, she's really into makeup. She'd be great on my team. Well, just because she's really into makeup, sometimes we get this false sense of adoration about she'd be amazing when she has maybe zero work ethic or zero interest in running a business. Do you know what I'm saying? She might prefer to stand at CVS and sell, nothing against CVS, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I would come up with a list of traits and qualities that are really important to you. Maybe you want someone who's a woman of her word. Maybe faith is important to you. Maybe you want a woman of faith. So figure out what are some of it's almost like being the HR because you are the HR director, right? If you're going to get 20 applications and what's going to set apart the few that you pick versus the ones that you say you're not the right fit. Does that make sense? And you don't want to prejudge, but I'm just looking at qualities and characteristics. So I would come up with that list. So let's talk for just a minute. I'm going to show a little bit of this video if I can show this up. Okay, so what's really cool about this is Emily Schutte came up with this little grid, and you can do your own grid if you want. And this is before the appointment. So this is before you see the woman, right? Or the guy, whatever. This is when they meet you and the product. Now, what I will tell you, Mary Kay used to always tell us this, is you want to, the closer they are to the product, the more likely you are to have them join your team. Okay, does that make sense? So the best time to share the career opportunity, and there's actually company statistics on this. And I'm going to make this even bigger. One of the things that the company statistic is that people, if they're going to join your team, are usually going to join within 7 days of you sharing the product with them if they're interested. When you get beyond that 7 days, so you facial them, 3 weeks later, you try to get them on a sharing event. By then, the excitement of the product and the bigness and all that has worn off a little. Not completely, but it has worn off a little bit. So when they've, in my opinion, you will always have someone who will join your team who's never tried the product, but that's not the norm. I'm going with the what is tried and true. Okay. So before the appointment, what are we going to do? When they meet me, what are they going to do? And then after the appointment, what are we going to do? So notice at the bottom down here, it says time lapsing, right? So as I forward this, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about this. Okay. So the first thing is before the appointment, if you provide info, share it ahead of time. So that means if you're going to provide maybe a little video or some kind of a Google Doc or something, and I will show you the form. The thing with the Google Doc is you want to make a copy of it. You don't want to take Emily Schutte's document or my document because then you'll mess up our document. Okay, so these are things that you're going to do prior to it. Okay, so this is a really pet peeve of mine personally is pre-profiling with a Google form and a link to a career survey. So pre-profiling. Why do you pre-profile? Well, super fast in a nutshell, it's because you want to find out their skin type. You want to find out if their skin is sensitive. You also want to find out, are they already using Mary Kay? Do they already have a consultant? Right? You want to find out if there's one thing they could change about their skin, what would they want to change? I always ask, tell me what your nighttime routine is like. Because I'm trying to figure out, is she a minimalist, soap and water and hand cream on her face, or is she have a refrigerator in her bathroom with all her serums in it, right? Like, I don't know. So the nice thing about pre-profiling with a Google form, I personally love to pre-profile over the phone. But what I'm finding is that when I do it over the phone, I can't ask these other things and then give them a link. But once they fill out a Google form, I can always reach out to them. And that's really more of what I'm leaning toward. So again, these are all things to do before the appointment, the pre-profile, and then the link to a career survey. And the career survey is something like 4 questions, and they get a gift if they do it. So here's what happens. It may be her first time ever hearing about any type of business opportunity like Mary Kay. You've told her that unicorns are real. This is an example of Emily Schutte's, and that you'll be bringing one to the appointment. She doesn't know anything about unicorns, and she doesn't even know she's interested in the unicorn, but that's what you tell her. So she's like, well, I don't know this lady, so I don't know if it's true. But some people, especially since we've been around 63 years, their concept of Mary Kay may be skewed or not even close to accurate. I've actually had people walk up to me in my pink Cadillac and say, oh, I didn't know Mary Kay was still in business. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? And we are strong globally. We're the number one brand of skincare and color by volume globally. So they don't get it, right? And I don't expect them to get it. So by you sharing this Google form, not only are you before the appointment, you're getting her interested because if they're not going to fill out a Google form, they're probably not going to show up. It also kind of helps cement the invitation, right? And then because this is specifically about team building, this isn't about knowing what product to put her on. That's another class, but this is specifically on team building. She is now curious as to what this Mary Kay is all about. Okay, and then at the very bottom, her possible initial reaction might be, oh, this isn't for me. Or, well, maybe it's for me. Or, no, I've never thought about running my own business. Or, I need more info. Or, I just want to be a customer. I can't tell you how many times when I've shared something like this, and they'll put down like their interest level is a 1, and then they end up joining my team. So just because they put down a one or a two, remember they haven't met me, they haven't met the product. So don't worry about what they put. But it gives them exposure, right? We talked about this earlier. It's like the flight attendant saying to you, would you like to be a flight attendant? You're like, no, thank you. And then she goes, well, just watch what I do during the flight and see if this might be for you. And you're thinking, it's not for me. And literally the entire flight, you watch what she does. Okay, one last thing before you see her is your job, provide info. You have to have zero emotions about her answers. Okay. So on these letters, BE and AE, so this is before Emily and after Emily. So if my name is Diane, so it would be BD and AD, before Diane and after Diane, right? Because you want to know what her thoughts are prior to and then during and after. Okay, so now let's talk about when she's actually with you at the appointment, right? So we're going to fast forward here a little bit and we're going to talk a little bit about when she has the opportunity for an experience. So here's what happens. She experiences our products. She hears you share the opportunity, but also your personal experiences within the business. The two combined give hope and ideas that maybe this could help her fill some gaps in her own life. One of the easiest ways to do this is to do something you could even take. I don't know if you guys can see me, but to do something like take either a money bag or a tote and have this, we used to call it business in a bag, but you have a tote, and I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas and some props. So just write these down. You don't have to do all these, but this is just an idea. Write down money, write down flexibility. The next one I have is personal growth, and you can come up with a lot more, I'm sure. The next one is being your own boss. Recognition. I'll go back over this list at the end. A car, tax advantages, fun and friends, and the 50% discount. So again, it's money, flexibility, personal growth, being your own boss, recognition, getting a car, tax advantages, fun and friends, 50% discount. Now, what you can do while the charcoal mask is drying or whatever, you could literally hand a tote around and say, put your hand inside the tote, pull something out and tell me if you see who can guess what this represents in Mary Kay, and you get a ticket and you give away like a limited edition lip gloss or something wrapped. It's no big deal. They just want more tickets than their friends and they just want to win. They don't even care what they win, they just want to win. So for money, I would probably pull out money. I would actually either get like a fake $50 bill or $1,000 bill. You know how they have like fake money at the dollar store or whatever. You could use Monopoly money, whatever. But for money, I would actually bring money or bring a money bag because that makes it super easy. For flexibility, you could bring a rubber band. You could bring anything that is flexible. I used to have a Barbie, like, the little bar, and because Barbie bends backwards and her legs go in the air and everything. So whatever you want that represents flexibility. Personal growth, I brought a small hand mirror because it's about how I see myself and loving who I see. Okay. For being my own boss, I actually had a clip-on tie. I went down to Kmart and I think it was like on clearance because it was this really bad pattern. I think it was like $5.99 and I got a clip-on tie. I'm sure you could go on Amazon and probably find them super cheap. So clip-on tie. Or if you've got a significant other that's got a tie he never wears, have him tie it in a knot and take that tie. For recognition, it could be something like those plastic clapping hands. It could be a pom-pom. It could be a tiara. It could be a crown. Any of those things. Okay. It needs just to represent recognition. If you've got a sash, you could do a sash or whatever. A car, I literally would get a Matchbox. Get a Matchbox car. Why not? Right? You could have it black to represent the equinox, or you could find a little toy pink car. Okay, tax advantages. Right now, I would just go on like irs.gov or whatever and print out a 1040 tax form and just print it out, hold it up, say, what do you think this represents? And they'll say, your taxes. I love actually, I didn't have it I also used to pull out a bra, and it was so funny what people would come up with. And for the bra, I did support. And I didn't have that on the list, but bra for support, fun and friends. It could be a picture, a small little photograph of a whole bunch of women. You could even take a picture off your phone of you with a bunch of your girlfriends and just put it in a little baby picture frame. And then I take my favorite product and I put that in there. Maybe the glycolic peel or microderm or whatever. You pull out that product and they'll go, I don't know what this is. And I said, because our discount's 50% and I love the product so much, but I love being able to get it all at half off. So if you had 8 things in there and you have 4 women around the table, you pass the bag around twice, right? And you could even pick one out. But these props are just to kind of help you. All right, so let's go back during the appointment. So she has this experience. She's not sure about you, or she's not sure about anything, but she is trying the product and falling in love with it, right? So here could be your possible reaction. Is it real? I could do this. I mean, because they're watching you. Because remember, you planted the seed on the Google form. And she's saying, well, maybe this is what I've been praying for. And maybe unicorns are real. Like she, she doesn't know what she doesn't know, right? So your job, this is all your job is. And I'm so glad Emily Schutte put this together. She's brilliant. Is your job is to share. Have a conversation on site, meaning if the party's on a Thursday night, you don't go home and call her on Sunday. You talk to her that night. Now, if she's got 8 relatives over there, they're all having margaritas, they're all having fun. You might be thinking, well, how am I going to talk to her? You could still at least have a brief conversation with her and just say, could I give you a packet of information to look at, or I'd love to get your opinion. Could we meet for coffee tomorrow or something like that? Answer questions, provide insight on how this could fit. Ask about her interest scale, like on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 or whatever. And whatever number she says, assuming it's not a 1, hopefully, I always say to her, like, let's say you do on a scale of 1 to 10, and I said, you can't pick 5 because that's on the fence. What would you be on a scale of 1 to 10? She says a 7. So obviously I know she's interested. And I say, great. What makes you a 7 and not a 1? Well, I'd love the 50% off. I could use the personal growth. I need more flexibility and money. So you are literally writing down whatever she says to you. Whatever words come out of her mouth, that is going to be the reason you close her. So if she says money and flexibility, I'm a new single mom. I just went through a divorce and I need money. And I'm gonna say, okay, money and flexibility. Those are her hot, she's telling you right there, those are her hot buttons, right? So your job again is to share, provide insight on how this could fit in. You could say, well, what if? Or can you imagine? So I use those things. Can you imagine if at the end of the month you looked in your checking account and you still had over $1,000 left in there? And she'd go, oh, I can't even imagine. Say, or could you imagine? Or what would it feel like to be able to take the girls, your 2 daughters, to Disneyland? Or what would it feel like to be able to fund their education? So ask questions. Well, what would be important to you if you had $1,000 extra? What would you do with it? And be sure to write down her exact words. When I actually write down her exact words, I put them in quotes because when people hear the word back, what they've expressed to you in the exact words, it makes them feel validated, like you actually really listened. Ask her about her interest scale. Ask if she's ready to start that night. If not, use the 3 options. Okay, so let's talk about that. Do you have a wrapped incentive? For example, when I did the last event in Sacramento, I took a whole bunch of these hydrating gel masks with me and put them in the Sat Lifts bag and put these really cute, they had really cute pink bows on them. And I had 4 or 5 on the table. And one of the gals said, what are the gifts in the table for? And I said, oh, that's for anyone who decides to start their Mary Kay business tonight. Because this was one of the things that does not come in the starter kit. Charcoal mask does, microdermabrasion doesn't, the gel mask does not. So I was offering those in December at a party, or you could even put a gift. You could have like 3 or 4 little bags for people that book, but one bag that looks really beautiful, like maybe a gold bag or something. And you could put something in there that's a gift. It doesn't really matter what it is. It is for somebody who makes a decision that night. Okay. If not, you can use the 3 options. And the 3 options are basically let her come up with a list of questions that she can ask you and give her the options of doing the the $35 start, the $90 starter bag. She could either be a hostess or a customer, a hostess, or a team member. And I said, you know what? You're totally welcome to be a customer of mine. I'll take care of you for life. If you want to be a hostess, I can give you a half off shopping spree once. But if you want half off forever, freedom and flexibility, and that money you mentioned, I think maybe you want to try this for a year. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? And when you do that, then not typically when they think of, well, what have I got to lose? All right. So let's look at now after the appointment, the how. In person, ideally in person, when at all possible, or get them on the phone, do a Zoom, or if you are in part of Janice Trude's national area, we have a sharing event. So let's say your skincare class is on Sunday. You do not want to wait until Thursday night to to have her sign up, because by then someone will have rained on her parade and talked her out of it, right? But if you could get her to, maybe meet you for coffee or something on Monday, you could have her come to our Tuesday meeting and get pinned virtually or in person, whatever. And you could have her experience that. So then on Thursday, you say to her, you know what? It's not uncommon for new consultants to build their team right away, and you win your pearls, this beautiful pearl necklace. So who is the one person in your life you'd love to have on your team? She was my sister. And say, great, why don't you have her on Thursday night? Now you've got a brand new recruit who's about to get her first recruit. they will stay with you for the rest of their life if you help them do that. Okay, so let's talk about what happens. She has maybe already joined your team, yay, or you are completing the process with her by having her on Pink into Pink, which is what Emily Schutte does, or Janice is sharing events. Now, keep in mind, if you do meet her at a party on a Friday, you are not going to wait till the following Thursday. You are not going to wait 6 nights because I will tell you it's not going to happen. I will tell you 9 out of 10 times something will come up, she won't do it, and then she won't join your team. Okay. So maybe instead you meet her for coffee the next day and give her the one item she didn't buy. Say, well, gosh, what's one thing you didn't get tonight between like I make remember micellar water and she goes, oh, micellar water. And say, well, let me give that to you for free. Let's meet for coffee tomorrow just for 20, 30 minutes. No obligation. Okay. And so have her come. And again, when you get her on board and she signs up, then I would have her on the next Thursday night event, having her first team member on there. Okay. Here are her possible reactions. She already believes in unicorns, meaning she already believes in the possibilities of what it would be like to be an entrepreneur. You're just hashing out the details. Okay. Like the website or whatever it is. And a lot of times they ask if they're a detail oriented person, they ask all these training questions. Well, how do I know where I'm going to find people and all that? I said, you're already on like consultant orientation part 3. We just need to decide if this is something that you even want to try. So it's like they're planning, and I say it's like planning a wedding and we're not even dating. So they kind of go, oh, and I said, yeah, let's just take this one step at a time. And I reel her back in. So here's your job to share. Do not drop the ball. That is probably Emily Schutte's best phrase on this whole training is do not drop the ball. How many times we meet a sharp prospect, she's at a party, and I say, you pull her aside and say, these people all could be your clients, totally up to you, but I'd love to talk to you about what it would look like. And if it's not for you, I'm happy to take care of them for the rest of their lives, especially if she gets, immediate customers. So send the links you said you would send her. So if you said, I'll send you the 4-minute video or I'll send you whatever, like attracts like. So if she's a mom and she's got 5 or 6 kids, there's a video named a woman named Marnie, who's a mom of 7. It's a 3-minute video. Say, well, gosh, you know what? I'd love to send you this video of a mom with 7 kids. Tell me what you think. It's only a couple minutes long. She's curious. She's like, I want to watch a video of a mom with 7 kids. And so like attracts like. So you want to have in your phone a list of about 6 different, maybe a few of their ethnicities, young Latina, more mature Latina, young African American, older African American. Maybe it's somebody with a corporate background, CPA, lawyer, whatever. Maybe it's somebody who didn't finish high school. So you've got different, so ask your director to help you. Say, hey, I need to store these six demographics in my phone. And then you've got it and you're ready to roll right there. Does that make sense? So it's really, really important because what I find is that we get in, we get excited and hear my heart, but I've seen this happen even within my own unit. We get so excited about the sale. We go, well, yeah, but I don't want to talk about the opportunity. She's about to buy the ultimate repair set that's like 318. And it's like, gang, I understand you would make, $190 like that. But just trust me, it's better to have her on your team and have her build her own legacy. It'll come back to you 100-fold. It really will. But always keep in mind, before she meets me, what can I have her do? When she meets me, and that's why it's important to look sugar sharp. Okay. And then what the impact you're going to have afterwards. Okay. So have the links, put together a business in the bag where you've got all the props put together, right? Put together a Google link. And if you need help with that, let me know. Emily Schutte's video, I can send you the link. And if you go on there, she has her Google Docs in there. She just asks not to use her exact document to make a copy of it. So I'm going to be changing it for our unit, and for me. And then so for the sharing one, I would love you guys to use the one that I create because when you send it out, I will send out the earrings. I will literally send a gift to your guest just for filling it out. And they'll say, where should I mail you the earrings? And they'll give me a name and an address. And it does ask who their consultant is. So you'll still get credit. She'll be your team member, but I'll be immediately mailing a prize. Okay, so you guys see how important it is to the layering, the pre-profiling, connecting with them before, planting that seed. They just assume it's part of your process. I meet you, you get a Google Doc, we do this. It is literally part of the process. And in there needs to be team building because team building is a process. Now, you've got a hot one when at the very beginning she goes, I think I could do this. So now what do I do? And you're like, well, we're going to have a facial day after tomorrow. Well, do you have anything else I can watch? And I'm like, sure, find something. Go on janicetru.com, go on YouTube. Go on, find Janice Trude on YouTube and go to her Thursday night and find somebody who has a background similar to this one, the woman you're sharing with, ethnically or demographically, or like whatever, maybe the same age. Like if she's 21 and doesn't want to go away to college, we have some of those. We've got people in their early 20s driving Cadillacs. We've got 80-year-olds driving Cadillacs. So whatever it is, they'll have something to relate to. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see how many team members you share this incredible opportunity with this month.